So let's just go ahead and just close our eyes.
Let's do it. Let's do it. And if someone is driving or operating machinery, you don't have to close your eyes and take time. Come back to this afterwards, and you can listen along if you wish.
So when we close our eyes, and we just kind of, one of the interesting thing about closing our eyes is, recently I mentioned that we are taking in 11 million pieces of information. When we close our eyes, we block out most of those pieces of information. So we can start to become more aware of our inner state because our external focus has been turned off. And so just close your eyes and just kind of start to scan yourself from head to toe. Just become aware of your forehead. And all this whole time you've been feeling stuff up there, but we need to sort of focus on the things that are most pressing. So often we will just ignore how we feel. So we're just feeling our forehead, bringing it down to the jaw, relaxing the jaw, bringing our awareness down to our neck, relaxing our neck, to the shoulders and the arms. Just observe how you can put your awareness in these places. And whenever you laser focus on these places, you really start to feel them more. And now that you're focusing on these places, the other places, you're not really there, right? So we're focusing on the arms and the shoulders. Now we're going to focus on the chest and the upper back and all the space between, down to the abdomen, the low back, down to our legs, just being present there, to our feet. And just kind of allow your awareness to grow from your feet all the way back up to your head. Maybe seeing how much you can be fully aware of every part of yourself from head to toe, fingertip to fingertip. And one of the things you might not have thought about is, during this time that we've been focusing, you've been breathing the whole time. And so we're going to bring our awareness now to our breathing, observing the inhale as it comes through your nostrils, the exhale as it comes right back out. Now warmer air, moistened air through your nostrils. Inhaling in, observing the coolness of the air as it enters in, tracing it down, and then tracing it back. We're going to start what we call the awareness exercise. And that's simply, we're going to trace the air as it enters, nice and slow, at your own pace, tracing the air as it exits. And then we're going to have a small pause between each breath. Nothing like a breath hold or anything, just a small pause, scanning yourself from head to toe, and then repeat. So we're tracing our inhale as we inhale, tracing our exhale as we exhale. It's almost as if like one of those molecules of air is your attention. We're pausing between breaths, scanning ourselves from head to toe, breathing in, tracing the exhale in, or the inhale in, exhaling, tracing it out as it goes, pausing between. Really trying to be aware, tracing that inhale and exhale, and on the pause, just observing how we feel head to toe. You're doing great. Now we're going to experiment with actually hearing the voice of the unconscious. Really asking that unconscious you to give you its opinion on something in a very real way. And so as you continue this motion, inhaling, exhaling, pausing, I'd like you to bring something to mind. I'm going to ask you to bring a thought to mind. We're going to do a few different thoughts just so we can hear different things from the unconscious. This is not a fantasy, magical, woo-woo thing. This is very real. Okay, so we're going to start with a very strong one. I'd like you to think of something that makes you feel angry. So just one thing makes you feel angry. Bring that to your thoughts and observe the physical sensations that accompany that thought. Really allow yourself to think that thing. Think about it. And just observe the physical sensations that accompany that thought. Really focus in. Just observe. Hello, unconscious me. Stay with it for just another few more seconds. All right, we're going to take a deep breath in, and when we do, we're going to clear our thoughts. Deep breath in, all the way in. Hold at the top and smile. Just putting your focus and awareness in your smile, and then exhale with a sound like this. Good job. One more time, deep breath in, all the way in. Hold at the top. Focus on your smile. And let it go with the sound again. Nice. Kind of shake off and go back into that inhale, exhale, pause between breaths, going back into that same awareness exercise. Now I'm going to ask you to think of something else. We're going to think about something that makes you feel gratitude. So just bring that one thing, just one of those things. Don't go through the whole list today. Sometimes we go through a list. Just one thing that makes you feel gratitude very, very much. And observe the physical changes, the physical sensations that accompany that thought. Hello, unconscious me. Hold that thought. Observe the physical sensations that accompany it. You are communicating within this relationship. You're becoming more aware of the physical sensations that accompany a conversation with the unconscious. That unconscious you has an opinion on that, and that is what you're feeling now. Hold on to that thought. Really, really allow yourself to be present. Put yourself into that thought and experience the physical sensations that accompany it. Now, normally in this exercise, we do a few more emotions, but for the sake of time, we're going to go to the next exercise. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in, all the way in. Holding at the top. Smile. And let it go with that sound again. Just relax it out. Deep breath in one more time. Deep breath all the way in. Hold at the top. Smile. And let it go with that sound again. Good job. All right, go back into normal breathing. And what we're going to do is just sort of introduce ourselves to ourselves. I would like you to just think about your own face, right? Your very own face, smiling right back at you. Just allowing ourselves the smiling, we call this the smiling back exercise, just to really concrete the idea that there is this other part of you, this unconscious you are in relationship all the time with. Maybe just say, hello, unconscious me, and just almost maybe hear your unconscious saying, hello, conscious me. Hello, conscious Jesse. Just fill in your name. And I am always here for you. I always care about what happens to us. So you take the front end of the store, I'll take the back end of the store. I will be here giving you energy, trying to supply us with all of our needs, working this physiology. And you, the conscious part of me, you do that deep thinking, that critical thinking you're so good at. And we're going to work as a team. And just kind of make peace with the fact that that's what you are. You are a relationship. And when you're ready, you can open up your eyes and come back into the room. So we didn't do intense breath work there. We were just using our breathing, but our awareness is really the foundation. And ultimately, everything we do is in relationship to how we feel. And that's one of the ways we know that any of the breathwork techniques actually spoke what we intended to speak, because we can say, oh, this is how the unconscious is responding. And so we start with this awareness and we say, okay, this is this relationship. I can feel these things, right? Oh, interesting. I can interact with this element that I used to think that was just impossible.
Yeah.
And that's where the magic is with the language of breath. We're literally learning how to speak and how to listen within this thing that is you.
So beautifully guided, the way you did that as well, beginning with getting to know the body, do something similar with mindfulness based stress reduction, or MBSR program that teaches mindfulness and awareness. It's kind of getting to know the whole body. It was so beautiful the way you guided. And this element of introducing intentionally a thought that you're grateful for, and a thought, something makes you angry, and then seeing what happens. Because what happens, it's not like now I told my breathing to change because I'm
Right.
angry. Like I literally thought about something that was upsetting, from this morning that happened for me. And
Perfect.
I was like, wow, I could feel like a knot in my stomach. I could
Right.
feel heat right away. I felt more tingling in my lips.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, oh, like,
And
I wasn't telling my lips to get tingly. It was just like, right.
And for those who are listening, when you've thought of anger, you might not have felt those exact things,
Right. Everyone's different.
but there are very real messages that you were receiving, that you were coming to be consciously aware of. And those were all a splattering. Like it was, we really, whenever you feel angry, most of the time it's not just anger you're feeling. A lot of times you might also be feeling jealous, or you might be feeling like there was a moral code that was broken, or that you feel offended. Like there's a lot of different aspects as to why we might feel angry. And so we feel this splattering of emotions that manifest themselves in these feelings that it's very difficult to decipher. And we think we need to decipher them. Well, what does it mean to feel it here?
Right.
Now, that's not really a great idea. We just understand the reason. Okay, so I'm feeling something. What am I going to do with it? And what's it making me want to do? And is that appropriate for this situation? And if it's not, I need to speak back to my partner and say, hey, thank you so much. Thank you for loving me enough to send me this energy, or whatever it is you're sending me. But in this case, this is why the conscious you and the unconscious you, you're partners. Because the conscious you cannot do what the unconscious you can do. And the unconscious you, it cannot do what the conscious you can do. So having this partnership it's a perfect partnership. Really, it's a beautiful thing that we are.
And it's so accessible what you just guided us. And what I also love in your book, you begin that way as well, but you give like a whole manual of breathing approaches. And I really encourage anyone who's interested to pick up the book, because It is so
Thank you.
well outlined. It starts like with how we began too. It's like, here's the science, here's what's happening, and then very practical tips like box breathing. What is box breathing? Here's what it is. Here's how you do it. 478 was actually one of my favorites
My favorites.
personally.
Yeah.
You mentioned that one. So like all of it is outlined, and I know we won't go over each one of them right now, but I really encourage listeners to pick up the book if you want to learn more about all the different ways you could breathe. And there isn't, sometimes there's a misconception. I do this breath for this problem, this breath
Right.
for this problem. It's like
You're not a
it's just
machine.
yeah, it's like it's just learning the different approaches and what your body's needing, right? So that's all outlined so beautifully, so
Well,
beautifully.
thank you. I'm so
So,
glad you said so.
yeah. Hello there, and thank you so much for stopping by this channel. I hope you find this content useful, and if you do, feel free to hit that subscribe button. It will really help me to reach to more people and keep this content going. Here we are journeying together, and let's see where this takes us.